Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Salty Sweet Games, where we shenanigans, sob, and smooch our way through tabletop role-playing games. I'm one of your hosts, Salty.
And I'm Sweet.
And these various assorted spices are our friends. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, our long-running pulp action meets cosmic horror campaign. Before we go around and meet everyone and their characters, we have some channel shout-outs. Firstly, thank you, Alexis, for that tip. Investigators, you all have a desperately needed reroll. If somebody wants to update that. Let's also thank our sponsors, starting with Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice, which unites gamers across any distance with easy-to-use tools that run straight from your web browser for free. We are part of their ambassador program, which highlights indie tabletop creators all across the interwebs. That's right. That's what I have to say. Also, thank you to Dice Envy and Grinding Coffee Co., two other awesome companies that we work with. If you like your shiny math rocks, if you like your soaked bean energy juice, you should check out these companies. We have affiliate links, discount codes, either in chat or down below in the panels. You can find them. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed, gifted subs, followed, chatted, lurked, liked, commented on YouTube. We super appreciate it. If you would like to support us further, there are tip incentives listed down below that can seriously impact the game. You can use bits or our Streamlabs tip jar. You click on the panel image, affect the game, or use exclamation tip in chat. It'll take you right to where you need to go. It is always appreciated, but never expected. Last thing, we here at Salty Sweet Games use safety tools, lines, veils, X, N, and O cards, stars and wishes, and content warnings because while the characters may be put through hell, the players are here to have fun, and they're our priority always. Without further ado, let's meet them. Kienna, who are you? Who are you playing?
Hello, I'm Kienna. I'm the Sweet of the channel. My pronouns are she and they, but today I am playing Irene Blackwell. The pronouns are she and her. Yeah, I don't know. She's still sanity-wise okay, HP-wise okay. Just going into the fight a little bit, being somewhat okay.
Are you
I say
okay?
somewhat.
You're okay? She's okay?
I guess. But fine. We're fine. As
Blink
fine as
twice
someone can.
if you're not okay.
As fine as we can be going into, final ritual.
Irene's fine mechanically, but emotionally?
Irene's fine. Yeah, Irene is fine mechanically. Her willpower is intact. Is she okay emotionally?
Good to know. Good to know. Let's go over to Allison.
Good morning, everyone. It's Allison. I play Ganymede Graves, adventure scientist. Once the archetypical woman of the age of rationality and progress, now she who surrenders to the madness to fight the madness. Ganymede's just ready. She's ready to fight the madness, and she's ready for this to be over. She's got her confidence back. She's feeling, I think we can manage one more fight. That's what I got.
Excellent. Good. One more fight. Let's go over to Summer.
Hi, it's me, Summer. I use she, her pronouns, and today I'm playing one Mr. Charlie Rapp who uses he, him pronouns. He's not doing great. All things considered, not doing the best. But we're almost at the end. So I think if there's an appropriate time to not be doing well TM, it's probably right now. It makes the most sense for him to be
totally,
a little sleepy, a little tired, in willpower. I don't think he's fully healed yet. No, and likely that doesn't seem likely for the rest of the show. And yeah, I'm I have mild concerns, but I have full faith that chat will keep me alive as they have for these past 2.5 years. You can donate to affect the game. Please save me.
Who else are you playing?
What?
Who else do you play?
Oh, Ava Cowell. She's
Oh,
here too.
Yeah.
Back. I forgot she was here.
Look, boom. I can just switch back and forth.
boom. Yeah, and Ava Cowell's, and she is a sweetheart. She's learning, like, you know, she's learning more magic. She's here. She's like, I'm getting my nursing degree. You guys don't need to worry. I've got everything under control. So she is here to be helpful, and I love that for her.
She's doing great. Much
She's
better.
doing great.
Much better
She's-
than Charlie.
She got everything she wanted.
I know.
really.
If you think
she's,
about
like,
it-
vibing.
If you think about it, going through the portal in the bent pyramid was actually the right choice. If you think about it, everybody.
I think for argument's sake, it was the right choice for one Miss Ava Cowles, but I think that we would be upsetty spaghetti if all of us had suffered that same time jump, because we did a lot during those few weeks.
Well, you know,
Remember the ritual that Ava missed? Remember that?
no.
I remember those episodes.
Good. Great. Let's go over last but not least to Tommy.
Yeah, no, totally. Everything's going great. Hi, I'm Tommy. I play Zebulon Augustine Claiborne Montgomery III, the most perceptive and insightful character in our group, who totally saw through Maweru's, deception without the aid of any sort of mysterious artifact whatsoever, time traveling artifact whatsoever. I think he's hoping this will be the final thing they have to do, because it's been a long trip.
It's been a long year. It hasn't even been a year. It's started in January and you're in October now. long 9 months. 10 months. Yeah, we're in mid-October. Perfect. Good. Well, that all sounds great. So if you happen to be joining us for the first time, or the first time in a long time, this motley crew is trying to stop an apocalyptic event from occurring. Their journey started when their good friend Jackson Elias was murdered for investigating the infamous Carlisle expedition, the members of which were all formerly presumed dead. Since then, they've uncovered a global conspiracy involving various death cults, who all worship different aspects of the same eldritch god. Many names, many forms, but all the same end to one end. This has taken them from Peru to New York, England, China, Australia, Egypt, and finally Kenya. The cults were working together to build a machine to rupture and taint the sky, but our heroes stopped that part of the plan. However, the cults in Africa are still thriving and preparing for the Great Ritual on January 14th, 1926, 97 days from today, Saturday, October 10th, 1925, which is 7 days before the next new moon and the prophesied birth of the spawn of Nyarlathotep. Last time, because Zebulon activated Jackson Elias's pocket watch, you got a do-over. Well, 1 minute of a do-over. Instead of being led into the ambush, you confronted the disguised Maweru and entered into tense negotiations. You were able to find out that there's some recent dissatisfaction, ire even, with the switching of Hypatia Masters for Annie. So, Maweru was willing to not only let you go for now, but also tell you of a secret entrance into the mountain that you could use once the ritual began, in exchange for bringing Hypatia Masters to her. She stated plainly that she would have to defend the child once it was born, but before that, Well, you'd have some time. Zeb successfully navigated you back to Nairobi while remembering to keep Who, your caged chameleon, supplied with fresh flies. And when you arrived, you had visitors at the Nairobi Star, namely Ava Cowles and one Hypatia Masters. We saw in a flashback Nito Chris, formerly Zara Shafiq, now going by Sharifa Rawash, assisted Hypatia and Ava in their travels and provided them with a spell to potentially save the carrier of the spawn. Not done selflessly, but so that Nita Chris wouldn't have to say goodbye to the world she'd so recently returned to. So, you make it back to Nairobi. You got a week before the new moon, before the ritual of birth. And you know that the path that you took, the shorter path that you had gone with Akomu, who was really Maweru, is going to be watched. So you will not be able to take that shorter path. Instead, you will have to go through the Aberdare Forest, which you know is a 6-day journey. So you have 1 day before you absolutely have to set out for Mount Satima, for the Mountain of the Black Wind. You have your guide set, Sam Mariga. And you have allies, Ava and Hypatia. Natalie, of course, is here. Natalie Smythe Forbes of the League of Extraordinary Journalists. What are you doing to prepare? What is the plan? You know the goal before you. You must eliminate the spawn and expel or eliminate the leaders of the cult of the Bloody Tongue at the mountain in order to be able to cast the Eye of Light and Darkness ritual to 100% prevent the great ritual from happening in 3 months. So what are you doing? Also, we just got a tip from Cassiopeia, a little gift to carry the investigators to the end. Let's see, who should... if you want to give that to someone in particular, let me know. Otherwise, I will roll for it. Yeah, but tell me. What are you doing? You have 24 hours.
Zeb's going to the pet shop.
Oh, the pet shop, sure.
Yep. And he's gonna either buy some like fly traps or like some flies if they have them.
Yeah, I think that's doable. I think Sam will assist you with that because I don't know that there's necessarily a dedicated shop, but there are farms, around, and so he'll assist you with that, and you can stock up on the things you need. You know who likes fresh flies, so.
Zeb is definitely like, I don't know what you are, who, but I don't know what you are, but I have the feeling that you're going to be really important.
They look at you with their terrifying little eyes. Where's my picture? I don't want to show you the other picture yet, but I love this.
Right.
Yeah,
Just
what?
a little guy.
Just a little guy. What?
Little cutie.
Yeah, look at him. With his 4 arms. Not weird at all. And his mouth that opens this way.
Just a little guy.
Yeah, that's
Great.
yeah, and then on that, just making sure everything's in working order.
Great. Okay, good to know. Ganny's 1, Irene's 2, Charlie or Ava's 3, and Zeb is 4. Charlie or Ava, you get a gift.
God, are you kidding?
I get a gift. Fuck yeah!
Heck yeah. Do you want to go ahead and roll that?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I do.
Hey,
I need that.
you
Okay.
need that, don't you? Go ahead and. Oh!
Oh, that puts me
What is
back at
what
full
is this
health.
plot? What is this plot armor?
God, I wish I
Talking
knew.
about-
What is this
Talking about-
plot armor?
I'm fine. Woohoo! Thank you.
Thank you. That was quite fortuitous. Great. So we know how Zeb is preparing. What about the rest of you?
Ganymede is doing a few things. She is, she sits down with Sam and spends some time going over the route with him so that she knows it as best she can, at least,
Mm-hmm.
as well. And
Nice.
has a conversation with him about what if anything they might encounter along the way.
Oh, sure. Sure. I think, let's see. Where's my little write-up? So as I kind of described before, Aberdare is a beautiful tropical forest. Kind of giant cedar trees and olive trees. You can find figs in there, gradually kind of give way to bamboo as the altitude rises. He tells you the undergrowth is often very thick, which is why it is a slow travel. Kind of cool and wet from mist, fog, or rain. There are streams you have to ford. And of course, wildlife. There are antelopes, giant hogs, leopards, bearded vultures, which are like birds of prey as large as an eagle. And of course, at the lower elevations, there are snakes like the green mamba. That is actually an excellent way to spend some of your time, as that will be helpful in the actual part of your journey, knowing that, and having a guide as informed as Sam.
That is good.
Yeah.
She also checks her weapons to make sure they are prepared. And she and I think she spends some time in everyone's favorite book, the best-selling Necronomicon.
Sure.
To make sure that she's ready to cast her spells.
Mm-hmm.
And she spends her spare time cuddling with her partners, and we'll just leave it at that.
Good. Lovely. What about Irene?
I think Irene goes in and finds Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Just like somewhere quiet. I don't know, maybe in one of the rooms or elsewhere.
Yeah.
Where would Charlie be hanging out, you think?
I don't know. We really don't we didn't get a place at the hotel again.
No, you are pretty much just in the Nairobi Star because you're only going to be there for a day.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think Charlie would just be in like one of the side rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just killing time until it's time to go. Really antsy, I think. Like eager to get a move on.
Yeah, so I think like she just kind of knocks on the door before stepping in. can we talk about something real quick?
He like looks up at you and smiles. Yeah, of course. And will like gesture for you to come sit with him.
Yeah, and she'll sit next to Charlie and kind of there's a moment where she just takes a deep breath in and out. I was just thinking if we manage to pull off what we're trying to pull off and helps save Annie, which I know you want and I want to as well. Maybe it's a bit silly to think about the what ifs of something we haven't even done yet, but I guess where do you see us and Annie? I know how important she is. And even if I didn't, it would be pretty obvious based on everything.
Yeah, I think he just kind of gives you this kind of like sad smile. And I think it's pretty obvious, like, he's also been thinking about this. You know, I don't really know. I think that we have a few options. I don't know. When I spent all these years looking for her, I didn't expect her to be alive. Now. We'll have to talk to her, obviously. But I have kept in touch with her parents. They're both still alive and living in California. Obviously, it would be confusing for them for her to come back and be like she was when she left, but different.
You know, if this was a thing we had to confront a few months ago, I think I would have said something like, "Oh no, I just want you to do whatever makes you happy." But I don't know. Maybe I'm a little more selfish these days, and I want you to be happy, and I don't want you. I don't want you to go with her. sounds silly to say.
I mean, I'm different than the person that she knew too. I would say, in some regards, drastically different. I don't know. I don't want you to think I'm going to everything that we've talked about. You know, the plans that we've dared to make for after this is over, I still want those things. So you don't need to worry. Will things change? Yes, of course, they'll change. But the life that I want with you, I still do.
And I think Irene takes Charlie's hand and rests her head on his shoulder. I think that's all I need to hear.
We know that it'll be complicated. And so much has to work out for us to even get to that point.
What part of our lives haven't been complicated at this point? It was complicated when we first met each other. Hasn't gotten simpler since then.
We always figure it out, though. I'm confident that we will. As complicated as it continues to get, I think that we'll figure it out. We'll find a path forward where we can try and be happy.
I think so too.
We just have to get through this first.
Well, we'll get through it. Whatever happens at the end of it. Oh, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he just squeezes your hand.
Yeah, and I think they stay there for a while.
Yeah.
The only last point of preparation I can think of is the group talking about what the fuck we're doing. What is the plan?
Right.
What is
the plan part of preparation and planning.
Yeah.
Sure. So you have who? You have Ganymede's shotgun boarding axe, the Necronomicon. You have the Sword of Akmala. and the various other trinkets that Zeb has picked up from dangerous women along the way. Irene's gun. Charlie has a gun. Ava has a lightning gun.
Zeb also has a lightning gun. Couple charges left.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have intel in the form of Hypatia Masters. I imagine before any final plans, the group of you gathers. Natalie has been trying to figure out a way for you all to somehow get there earlier. You hear her kind of muttering to herself about various means of transportation. She talks about a plane, about like an airship and things like that, and seems to like write them off. Oh, that friend isn't around here anymore. She's, furious with me, that kind of thing. But Ava, Hypatia, and all of you gather around as Hypatia tells you her experience and can answer any questions about it that you may wish to ask.
Hypatia, it would help to know the layout as much as possible. We can determine where we might face our enemies and anything that you know about their forces and how they might be arrayed.
I was seated in a throne of sorts in a large cavern open to the sky. I'd been there for quite some time. I don't remember how I got there, but once I was there, I think I tried to leave in the early days. Before I couldn't move. There was a tunnel. The thing, the spawn, it was like a parasite, but it wasn't just feeding on physical things. It was absorbing everything that made me, taking it for itself. what I can remember. And it's all fading as this new reality writes itself over. I remember I had my name. I had a few memories of feeling left. That was it. Sometimes I would feel utterly gone, and Moeru would talk to me about times we shared together, and I would feel more myself. And she seems to get kind of lost and misty-eyed. I fell in love with her even when she was playing seductress to Roger. You can just tell, you know, when something is nothing more than a skillful pretense. I think Jack knew too. And that's how I always had to be, but we, Moeru and I, we saw each other. She had such a different life than me. And she knew all about mine from Roger, and she told me about how this God, her God, was going to empower us. We would never feel small or feel shame or powerless again. And we weren't hurting anyone at that point. No one had been hurt, so why not? We were just going to go to Egypt. Break some kind of seal. But so of course I agreed. Of course. Why? And whoever this other woman is now must have agreed. It seemed to be very important. Now, of course, I know that what he promises is only ever partly true. He promised after that Moeru and I would be together, would I'd whatever this thing was, it would look like me, have my memories, my mannerisms. So he wasn't fully lying. That's why it works. The spawn, he needs it to lead the great ritual. Part of him, it, them, whatever they are, and part of us united in opening the gate. And as soon as it's born, it needs to feed on those who have knowledge, connection to these beings, where they come from. I tried to cut it off near the beginning with any blade I could get my hand on, but it was like trying to cut through leather with a butter knife. The state I was in, I don't think I would have survived it anyway, but the real I didn't care at that point.
Ganymede puts a hand on her shoulder. Try in some small way to comfort her as she's bringing all of this back up. And then turns around to everyone else and says, so what is our plan for removing the parasite? She looks at Ava, Ava particularly with that. But
yeah, I think Ava just says, as far as removal, I'm not exactly sure. We were given a scroll that can heal. That can heal horrible, otherwise completely deadly wounds. So if we are able to remove it and quickly get to work, we can hopefully prevent her from bleeding out or any other trauma that may occur. But I'm suspecting it won't be your ordinary knife that will be able to remove this. Have we
Right.
seen? We've seen Zeb's sword. Have we
Yeah,
seen
I
it?
think literally, I think literally.
Zeb's like looking at his sword.
Yeah, as soon
Okay.
as Ava says it, I think Irene definitely looks at Zeb. And then
Zeb is looking at his sword right now.
Well, we have an unordinary blade. It's seeing it firsthand and what it cuts through. It's especially effective for unnatural things.
Well, Zebulon, if you don't mind us using your sword or helping us, that might be the best bet.
Absolutely. I mean, whatever it's gonna take. You know, if you want to use it, I'm not. I haven't really used it very much other than killing monsters. So like, I I'm not sure if I'd be able to do that right, or like Zeb's definitely like thinking about what he'd
Yeah.
have to use it for. He's definitely a little nervous. It's just like,
Well, I mean, this is certainly monstrous.
yep, yep, yep. I mean, yeah. Whatever happens at that time, if someone else needs to use it, absolutely. If you need me to do anything, I'll do it to the best of my abilities.
Obviously,
as best I can.
we won't know exactly what the situation looks like until we get there, but if you are prepared to either use it yourself or give it to one of us, I think that would be for the best. I don't think that if I'm going to be focusing on trying to heal her as quickly as possible, it shouldn't be me using the sword. I would want to get to work almost immediately.
Yep, nope, that makes sense. Right. Yep. Sounds like a plan. What about getting to that point though? I mean, there's only so much planning I suppose we can do right now without knowing what's waiting for us exactly up there, how many people might stand between us and Nanny, and what do we do if we meet him?
Well, we have a way in that's apparently hidden, or they wouldn't expect us to be coming from there. I know we usually go guns blazing into these things, but I think this is a much more refined approach we're going to have to do.
Rituals like this, they're not short affairs. If we get there early enough, we may have a significant amount of time with her. I don't believe they'd risk moving her. If we get there, if we're lucky, we may have time to ourselves.
And then the next most important step is we talk to her and see if we can get through. I would like to try and see if she is willing to do this the same way that you were willing to do this to yourself, Hypatia. And from what you told us, it seems like reminding her of herself might be important.
I wonder if a distraction would help while this procedure is taking place. We don't all need to be there present. It doesn't seem that way. I could certainly hold their attention for a while, I think.
I think that a distraction should only be used if necessary. If we're in there and no one knows we're there, then let's stick together best we can. I think we'd rather not have anyone going off alone, charging into the enemy by themselves. Looks at Charles specifically. But I mean, can we do if we get his attention? Is there anything we can do to slow him down?
We have who?
They are certainly an option. I don't know what they can do, so it's kind of hard to plan around that, I guess.
At the very least, I can stand guard and make sure that we have advance warning if anyone tries to interrupt us. Then after that, what was it that old Bundari told us? We must first cleanse the evil present in the mountain. Seems fairly clear.
Hypatia says, "Will you kill her?"
Moeru?
Yes.
Of course not. Ganymede lies. Because she's not certain that that's the case.
Hypatia smiles wryly. She's going to try to kill you.
If there is, I think, any way we could not avoid having to harm her, I think we will try. But I don't think we can make any promises about that.
Charlie looks at Hypatia. Say she lives through this. What does she do? What's next for her?
If she's successful or if she fails for the first time in her life.
If she fails. If she's successful, I don't picture any of us making it out with our lives. But say we do everything that we're setting out to accomplish. We manage not to kill her in the process and survive with our own lives. What does she do? And please be honest with yourself and with us.
I think if she fails, she won't make it out of the mountain alive. If, for some reason, he was feeling magnanimous, I assume she'd retreat somewhere, build back up strength, and something similar would happen down the line.
So knowing her, as you do, you would imagine that this is her forever. This cycle, if that's what it ends up being, this is her destiny.
That's what she believes.
The thing is, if we're going to avoid killing her, on your behalf, I want to know what that does for you.
What do you mean?
I mean, where do you go? I just want to know if her life is worth saving to you.
She has been very still to this point, and she kind of shifts in her seat uncomfortably.
Yeah, I think just to clarify, Charlie's if we don't kill her, right? What's gonna happen, girl? Where does this go for you? Right? Because clearly we don't want to kill this person that Hypatia's in love with, right? Because we're all very kind and caring and empathetic people. But if it's just gonna end in death more for Hypatia, what? We're not gonna avoid, Charlie's I'm not gonna fucking avoid killing her if it's going to be for the better outcome of literally everyone involved. If all her living is gonna do is cause pain and suffering, why would we actively avoid that, you know? What do you get out of this? What do you get out of this, Patty? What do you get out of this if she lives?
To also clarify, she didn't ask you to let her live. She asked if you were going to kill her.
That's true, yeah.
I think Zeb asks at this point, sort of as everyone's kind of winged it, what do you want out of this? What are you hoping for?
She looks like she's still struggling with what Charlie was asking, but she looks at you, Zeb. I wouldn't mind helping to fuck him over.
And is Moeru living part of that?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't think she would ever choose me over him. How could she? I might be able to give her pause.
well then, I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna give her a choice. She can leave him, go with you, stop being part of the cycle of darkness and evil and hatred. Or we might have to kill her. Because we can't keep doing this.
That is if she allows us to give her a choice. Because if she's trying to kill us, she's trying to kill us.
Zeb just sort of nods his head at that. Are you going to be okay with that? I'm not exactly asking permission, but I am asking because you've been through a lot. And you deserve to let your feelings be known on this.
I don't know how to answer. What would I do if I see the only person I've ever loved and who's ever loved me killed in front of me? I don't know.
You must understand, of course, Hypatia, that there's much more at stake here. This is the future of humanity. Every person who's ever lived or ever will. This is our fingerprint on the universe that is at stake. I understand. Or at least I think I do, and with a glance back to John and Annabelle. But any love that you'd be willing to trade the future of humanity for. Forgive me, but I wouldn't call that love. I call it narcissism.
Anyone who wants to can make a psychology check.
Let's go.
I'd love to.
I swear I'm good at this skill.
No.
Let's go. Manifesting critical success.
Manifesting. Wow.
Just use a reroll, for fuck's sake. Oh my god.
No, I refuse to burn a
Well,
reroll.
hold on. Do I have a reroll? You know what? Fucking I'll use one. I can do this.
Use one on
Easy. It's a
hemming and
coin flip.
hawing.
Here I go again.
Wow, we really can't read Hypatia. Just
It's not fair. You have to use one now, Tommy. It's up to you.
I refuse to use one on Hypatia.
After
Hemming
you.
and hawing.
You have
Okay.
to. You have to. You have
Okay.
to do it.
She has no verbal response.
Yeah.
And you hear at this, that's hilarious. That's really funny. Natalie is kind of is still going on, and you see like she's like talking with like Annabelle and John. She still seems hung up on like additional ways of transportation, especially as this like silence hits. And she says, all right, so I'm assuming from context you probably need some medical supplies as well, Miss Cowles.
Ava will just like turn and be like, yes, that would be ideal.
Wonderful. Okay, that I can handle. I have my contact, who gave us the morphine before for Mr. Rapp. All right. And I need to find, maybe if I buy her a drink, she'll let me use her. It's her, I don't know. No promises, but the medical supplies I can do. And she walks out of the office. Send some telegrams.
If money is part of the equation, you'll let us know.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't spend my own money.
Charlie just handed over all of his financial documents to her like this morning. Was like, here you go. Take my
Great.
money. I don't.
Here's my identity.
Okay. So, anything else you want to talk about, establish that you have before you take off? You'll have your medical supplies, you have your weaponry, you have your spells, your tomes.
Is there anything else that we need to ensure is set up?
Is there anything else that we need for the ritual that we need to do once we're up on the mountain?
In terms of the Eye of Light and Darkness?
Yeah. Like, are there any physical things that we need to bring with us for that?
I think a drum was mentioned, but
Okay. Yeah.
they'll
something
probably
we would
have
get that.
one there.
Yeah, they'll probably have a couple drums there. They're doing their own
Yeah.
rituals.
Yeah.
They're constantly singing and chanting and drumming at every fucking ritual we go to.
Yep.
So, yeah, great. As long as we're like golden on that,
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that we would
Yeah.
need. Love that we have no resolution on this Hypatia.
Doesn't it just...
Well, like Charlie's just like, I mean, maybe the four of us talk later, like sneaky, like sneak off. Well, and Ava can come too. That's fine.
I think
Actually, no, leave her out of it.
I think, sort of as we're kind of dispersing at this point, right?
Mhm.
At least this conversation is clearly over. He says, he looks at Hypatia, says, I know it's a hard question to ask, and not something many of us want to think about, but well, that may be something you're going to want to find an answer, or at least prepare yourself for on our way up. That's all he really says.
Yeah. So your things are assembled. Your guide is prepared. Anna and John are here.
I am among us, among the four of us. Is there anything left to discuss, to ensure that we have in place or planned?
We know that Ava and Zeb are gonna be on Annie patrol right at the beginning, right?
Well, Hypatia can assist
Right.
Ava with
Yeah.
Annie.
That's totally fine.
Zeb just needs to be there for the sword.
Right. And either
Yeah.
you can let someone else use it, you can use it yourself.
Does Charles need to be there?
That's what I think he's like trying to figure out. He's like,
I think Charlie and Ganymede should stay together.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be there.
It's really hard because it's a double-edged sword. Because we need a way to get through to Annie, which requires intimate knowledge of her memories. But also, we have no idea how she's going to react if Charlie's there.
I actually try to kill you.
Yeah. So I'm.
She's not going to be in a state to fucking kill me. Come on, she's going to be incapacitated.
Really, you're really tempting.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Charlie's thinking. He's like, okay, so making plans, like where everyone's going, where we're by ourselves. Listen, I thought it was for the best that I not see her and she not see me. You know, based on what I was told by a thing that we can't trust.
I think when he's talking about his cruelty, he can be fully trusted.
Yes, but I think even if she does hate me, even if she did this to hurt me or spite me, if memory and reminding her of who she is a part of it, is a part of saving her, I would be the only person who could do that. And I would think that he might suspect, for the time that he has spent in my mind, that I wouldn't want to do any more harm to her by her seeing me, and would keep my distance. But if we need to remind her, then everything that she loved and cared about, like everything that she was, I've had it committed to memory since I was 16. I needed to remember her, to find her. I thought the more that I just held on to that feeling that the vague silhouette of who she was, whatever I could hold on to, I would be able to find her easier in the afterlife. But it could be the difference between saving her now and not.
I suspect we'll know precisely how she's going to react to you within the first few seconds of seeing you. If your presence isn't helpful, you can go. We can go.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I might make a list then for Ava, just in case. A list of the things that she loved.
Little while later, joining you are Annabelle and John. Probably just before you're setting out. John says to you, Ganymede, we know it's dangerous for us to accompany you. So we've discussed, and we think we're going to stay here. And he kind of like taps the table in front of him. Obviously, you know, stiff upper lipping it. Miss Smythe Forbes thinks she has a lead on a quicker means of closing the distance, so perhaps we'll be able to arrive if you're in need of a quick exit.
Yes, well, that's good. I of course, you know, I would prefer if you put as much distance between yourselves and that mountain as possible in the time between now and our confrontation. The Daring waits off the coast of Mombasa. Could be there by tomorrow morning. But if you insist on spending another night on the floor in the offices of the newspaper, well then, I already know better than to argue with either of you.
He crosses his arms around himself, though it looks kind of more like he's holding himself together. And
She,
yeah.
go ahead. She just steps into that, puts her hand on his arm. When this is over, I think perhaps my days at sea will be over with it. Been thinking lately of the cottage, and I'm sure I could find an assistant professorship at St. Hilda's, and I've been thinking about studying again, astrophysics, perhaps. Seems as though it might come in handy. What I'm saying is, I'm tired of saying goodbye to the two of you. Perhaps we could find a way not to have to do that anymore. It's close to London, It's just a couple of hours on the train. Fashion scene. She's looking at Annabelle, trying to be persuasive. The nightlife, the sparkle.
Anna has a handkerchief in her hands that she's worrying at. Just this can't be you can't keep saying goodbye to us. This isn't even a goodbye. It's a see ya in a week or two, or no one's saying goodbye.
Ganymede smiles, but her eyes are watery.
Mm-hmm. Anna's are too. She's openly.
Yeah. At this point, she just pulls the three of them together. And yeah, I think we just take this last moment before Ganymede is off to hold one another and draw strength from this bond that they have.
Anna also obviously finds time to go over to her little brother. Still obviously openly crying at this point.
Ganymede didn't break up with you, did she?
What? Punches you in the arm.
I mean, I don't see what other reason you to, we're all coming back.
He's just crying. I mean, of course you are. To suggest anything else is ridiculous. You gotta watch out for her.
I always do.
And you gotta watch out for yourself.
Well, that's what I have Ganymede for, I suppose. And Irene. He thinks about it for a moment. Sometimes, Charles. Oh, I don't like saying that.
Doesn't feel right.
I am very helpful all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can barely take care of himself half the time.
Well, he has Irene for that, I think.
I think so as well.
All right, well, we've established everyone has each other. You're all watching out for each other. It's a kind of crisscross thing.
I think Zeb's just kind of just grinning at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's it'll be another adventure, and I think it's all gonna make a very interesting book.
Okay. And last thing before we set off proper, Ava and Hypatia. I imagine you're packing up your the medical supplies Natalie procured for you.
Yeah.
Hypatia's kind of poring over the spell.
Mm-hmm.
But has been silent since the
Yeah.
earlier conversation.
Yeah. I think Ava comes over to her. I know that you're not okay, but are you okay?
They asked me an impossible question. What would I do if they needed to kill her? What would I choose if it was her or the world? They expect me to know, but they've never they don't know themselves. But you know. You know what you choose.
She kind of shrugs a little bit. I admitted fairly freely, I think, that I would choose my father over anything else. That I would watch the world burn to save him. I'm thankful that I didn't have to do that. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't have. We don't all get to have happy endings after this is over. But I do think it's important to know what your happy ending looks like. so that you can fight for that thing and make choices that get you there. I am not one to tell you not to be selfish, Hypatia.
I don't think you can know until it's right in front of you. I think I'm all right with not knowing for now.
If and when we come to that moment, you can tell me what you want. I know that we haven't known each other for very long. And to say that our experiences have been similar would probably be disrespectful to what you've been through. But I am someone who has been faced with that choice. And I did what I did. So if you need help, just say so.
All right. So, last thing for today. I need a check from everyone. It's going to include Ava and Hypatia. Any check you want to make, basically for these 6 days of travel, to see what part of the ritual you arrived during. This can be anything you think is applicable, but only one of each skill may be rolled. So,
Ooh, interesting.
That is interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'd like to drive auto.
You'd like to drive auto?
It can be any skill
Anything that
we
could
possess.
work,
Mm-hmm.
that could be applicable to the situation.
Yeah.
Because
No,
there's
it's not an it,
there's
but I
the
could
obvious
navigate.
ones.
I know I've got the best navigation.
I'd like to use spot hidden as Charlie.
Sure.
Looking out for cultists in the trees, things like that. You
Snakes
know.
in the trees.
Snakes. Extreme
Ooh,
success.
Very
for
nice.
Charlie.
Very
Nice.
nice. Alrighty.
I would.
All
Can I
the
use?
time.
I'm going to use natural world for Ganymede.
Love it. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay. I mean, it's not made for
Mm-hmm.
for this. can you do, my girl?
I like to intimidate the jungle.
Could I use listen for Ava?
Yep. You get a bonus die if I recall.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's that first one. So 48. Wait,
Great.
what?
That's
Okay,
a success. 3 successes so
great.
far.
Yeah.
I
I'll
love
actually
this
use
mechanic.
I'll use 2 luck if it matters difficulty.
It doesn't
like,
matter.
degree. Okay, cool.
I love this mechanic so much. This is fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Photography.
If you can sell me on it.
How about psychology?
If you can sell me on it. Like, yeah, if you can sell me on it.
Everyone's spirits.
Use your good skills.
Those are my good skills.
Well then sell her on it.
I-
Pitch.
Oh, man. Do we drive a car to the base of the jungle?
No. Well, I mean, you do actually have to. Yes, actually, you do. If you want it, I'll let you give me drive auto, sure.
I mean,
Sure,
I don't wanna look a
that'll
gift
cut
horse
some
in the-
that'll cut
that'll
some
cut
time off, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with
Yeah,
that.
do it.
Use a reroll.
Oh my gosh.
3 successes so far and 1 fail.
Gonna use a reroll.
Okay, you can use a
Yeah.
reroll.
Yeah. That's what they're here for.
You have got to
No.
be kidding me!
Use 5 points of luck for fuck's
I
sake.
don't even know what's happening. It's not a pass or fail scenario. It's a degree scenario.
Why
So
can I not roll the
I
things I'm
don't
good at?
know. I
You want as
don't
many
know.
successes as possible. Just spend
This
the 5 luck.
stream is cursed anyway. So 3 successes, 1 fail. Irene?
I'm at a loss. All my skill points are like forgery or spot hidden or sleight of hand, which aren't particularly useful in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I also have handgun at a decent thing, but I also don't know how that's applicable here.
Handgun moving through the forest, I would say. Get out of my way, wilderness.
Is power possible?
What I was thinking is if I can't do a skill, and if I can't do an attribute, I just do a luck roll.
You can do a luck roll. I will accept luck.
I don't have a great luck, but it's better than 90% of the other shit I have.
Yeah. Luck
Um,
is the attribute I'll take.
Okay. Oh, fuck me. Let me see.
Yeah.
Can I reroll on that?
Sure, I'll let Tommy reroll.
You just can't spend luck on it.
No, I just can't spend luck on
Yeah.
luck, but I can reroll. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Christ.
3 successes, 2 fails. Hypatia. Both of these are the same for her. Climb and stealth. Let's do stealth. Success. 4 successes, 3 of which were extremes, which just has to be good for you, right?
Yeah.
So majority success. A day west of the corrupt ground, a conical mountain rises abruptly from the broadening plain. Everywhere, the forest has thinned and the grass has taken hold, but on the slopes of the mountain of the Black Wind, a dark and lurid green forest persists. Here, the god of the mountain has sway over nature. The sound of birds and insects diminishes as you approach. It's quiet. Just above the plain, the ash and cinders of the mountain have washed away and exposed a sheer rock face. A narrow, steep trail leads partway up. Do you arrive on the south side, knowing there is a hidden entrance to a cavern which Moreru has directed you to. Because of your successes, you arrive at sunset. The moon has not risen yet. The ritual has just begun on the east side of the mountain. You have the most time you could possibly have as you begin your ascent into the cavern. And that's where we're going to end this week's episode of Masks of Nyarlathotep. Let's go around quickly to everybody. Check in and all that jazz before the stream crashes again. Tommy, take it away.
I don't know what RNG gods I have angered once again. It was going decently well for so long, and now I just can't succeed. It's like 2 or 3 episodes in a row that I haven't had a successful roll. Hi, hello.
Things will turn around for you.
Things will hopefully turn around. I'm Tommy, editor of Pingo on the Twitter sphere. I do tabletop RPG stuff here, and I do video editing work, like the intro for this show. If you need any video work done, I have some commissions open. You can check out my posting on my Twitter feed for more details.
Excellent. Let's go over to Summer.
Yo, what's up? I think we did. I mean, I feel like we did pretty great today. Like, all things considered, it went pretty well. I'm super, super excited for next week. Holy shit, I'm so excited. I can't believe we're almost done. We're going to the mountain for our final ritual ever. We'll never have to do another one after this. Holy shit. Wow, crazy. Okay. Hi, I'm Summer. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. You can find me on Twitch at It's Just a Summer Job. That's where I stream most days of the week. I'll be streaming later today. Yeah, holy shit. I'm so excited. We're getting into it now. We're really getting into it now. I can't wait. Okay. Let's say goodbye.
Beautiful. Up to Allison.
Deep breath before the plunge. What an amazing episode. I loved everything about that, despite the obvious. I'm so grateful to all of you, especially those of you who shared your coin with us to give us a better chance at saving this world that we've all created together. Thank you to everyone who's watching and being a part of this. I'll be right here next week. See y'all next time.
Over to Kienna.
Woo! We're in it now. We're in the final steps now, and I'm very excited for it. But you can find me over on Twitter at Kienna, especially to figure out what I'm doing when I'm not here on the channel.